Well, good morning, and here we are again, and it's a Saturday morning, and as I said, I was going to start doing these videos on a semi-regular or regular basis, and it seems like Saturday morning is a good time to do this. And today I want to update you on what's been happening, what's been going on, yeah. Plays an important part in the end of episode 4 of Sense8, season 1, which I am of course recapping, and which of course you can see if you look on my blog. You'll see a new feature over on the right hand side of the display where I'm auto posting without actually reblogging the stuff that's coming off of my other site, the site I work on with Rachel, the Starking Dead. And you can see the things that I'm doing. So they're over there. You'll see them, and you can just click on them and read them if you want. If not, I think most people just kind of figure that I'm doing this because I'm bored. I don't know. I like doing them. So, but that's beside the point. So what am I doing today? What am I doing now? Well, last week's been kind of stressful. I have been editing. I've actually edited quite a lot. You know, I edited a big scene. It was like about 5,000 words almost. Today I went through and I edited a nearly 1,500 word scene, which is the one where the kids finally get outside the school and they're walking to Memory's End. And this is the start of their first day at Salem. And as has been usual for me, I've actually added words to the scene. I pushed it up past 15,000 words. And, you know, these things happen. I should be taking them out. I'm putting words in. But I did a lot of rewriting, and I found mistakes in this scene. Two of the biggest ones were Carrie mentioning that they were out walking on a Thursday afternoon, which is not true. This was all happening Friday morning, early Friday morning. So he said, yeah, it's a nice walk for a Thursday afternoon. Wait a minute. No, it's Friday morning. It's not Thursday afternoon. Where is he getting this crap? And here, I'll double check, just look. No, around 10 in the morning. No way that this was Thursday afternoon. And then another mistake that came up was when they stumble upon Memory's End for the first time, and I describe it as being 2 single-story buildings. Well, we know from the second book that Memory's End is 2 stories high. There's 2 levels, so for them to come upon it and see that it's a single-story building, it's kind of like, no, that didn't happen either. And I had to just change around some of the stuff that was written in there. I have found certain things that were rather clumsy, and there were 2 reasons for this. One, all of this was being written 3 years ago, 2.5 actually, but we're coming up on 3. And, sorry. And I'm at the end of the part of this novel that was written during NaNoWriMo 2013. The first 70,000 or so words of A for Advance was written during NaNoWriMo 2013. And I can remember it was just like this blaze. I spent the entire month of October getting everything planned out, and then just went into NaNoWriMo just blazing away. And I knew I could do 65 to 70,000 words easy. I believe it was closer to 70. It may have been just a little over 70,000 words. Excuse me. And I know this because I had written 2 other novels during the prior NaNoWriMos. NaNoWriMo 2011, I wrote Her Demonic Majesty, which was 86,000 words. And then 2012 NaNoWriMo, I wrote Koler Ijo, which was about 72,000 words. So doing 70,000 words was not a big deal. I knew it could happen. But as the story goes, there's a famous meme out there showing reams and reams and reams of paper, and it says NaNoWriMo. Oh, now I have to edit this? And that's kind of what happened. I mean, it really wasn't edited. You don't edit anything during NaNoWriMo. I edit as I go along, but even then, I was still trying to hit 2,000 words a day, 2,500 words a day. I think there was a couple of times I actually went over 4,000 words. I'd have to look. I don't have my sheets, my word tally sheets from that time. But I do remember I got close to 70,000 words. And I'm at that point now in the novel where I went beyond NaNoWriMo and started going into the part where I was going to write during December and January. And I can remember at that time, I was like, yeah, this novel, it's probably going to run about, 150,000, 200,000 words at the most. I remember saying that one time, 200,000 words at the most. Okay, maybe 225. And I kept revising that upward as I went along. I was like, okay, well, maybe 300, maybe 350. Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was so ridiculous, in fact, that another 65,000 words of A for Advanced was written during NaNoWriMo 2014. Seriously. So altogether, I wrote almost about 135,000 words total out of the novel. During 2 different NaNoWriMos. And also keep in mind, I actually took a month off at one point to go back and re-edit a significant part of part 1. There was a lot of the stuff pertaining to Annie and Carrie that was completely rewritten, having to do with how they first met, their trip around London, their trip to Amsterdam, their actual trip to the school. And I did rewrite, even at that time, parts of their E&As. Not much, but I did a little editing here and there. So there was a month taken off to go back and fix all that. And I chronicled that on my blog. So I likely would have finished up the novel after about 400 days, I guess. And you could see that NaNoWriMo actually helped get that novel in quickly, simply because I spent, what was it? It was like, I forget, it was like almost 500 days? No, it was 474. It was 474 days to write A for Advance. It was like 433 or 434 days to write B for Bewitching. And B for Bewitching is 100,000 words less. But keep in mind, I wrote over 100,000 words during 2 months, 135,000 words during 2 months of NaNoWriMo. So that gave me a huge edge. That's actually, when you look at it, that's about 45% of B for Bewitching was written for the first novel in just a 2-month period of time. And I know I didn't do NaNoWriMo this last time because with work and everything else and all the other stuff I've got going on, it's just too hard to fit in the time to do 1,600 words or 2,000 words a night. It probably would help because I could rip off a quick 60,000 words. But I don't think my sanity would take it. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't do camp this year. But I am debating actually doing NaNoWriMo 2016 this year to do some significant wordsmithing for C for continuing. Maybe. it all depends, because I've gotten to the point where I'm editing a lot as I go along, and sometimes even to get 800 or 900 words a night is difficult, because I'm sitting there going over everything and making certain I'm trying to get it right. Ugh. And speaking of seeking for continuing, sorry, I'm getting adjusted here on my little seat. This weekend, I haven't really done much with it since I showed you all the stuff I'd put in with the parts, because I have been busy. So today and tomorrow, I'm likely going to set aside a few hours and start putting in the chapters and start putting in the parts. Let me see something on my website here. Let me just bring this up. And according to the handy starting the next novel widget I have on my blog, it says I have 8 days to go. Well, see, it's not giving us an accurate countdown in terms of hours. If it was, it would say right now it's 8:30 exactly. So it would say I have 7 days, 3.5 hours to go before I'm supposed to start writing it. And I know you're going to find this surprising, but I'm likely going to write the first parts of the novel early in the morning, because the 16th I discovered is a friend's birthday, and I promised her I would come and spend part of her birthday with her. So it's very likely I'll be up like I am now. I've been up since 4:30. It's 8:30 now, so I've been up for 4 hours. It's likely that what I will do is I will actually write maybe the first scene, 500 or 600 words when I get up in the morning, which will likely be at 5:30 in the morning, and I'll write those out. I'll get it done. Maybe do a quick blog post, and then I'll go to my friend's birthday, go spend the day with her. And then when I come back, if I'm not too tired or too wasted, I'll probably add in a few hundred more words. I know what the first scene is going to be. What I need to do is I need to plot it out, and that's something I need to do this week. I also need to do the teaser trailer for C for Continuing, because I would like to release that on the 16th, which means I have today until Friday to write, and 2 of the days during the week are going to be taken up writing recaps. Pretty much. So that means this weekend, today and tomorrow, I'm really going to be kind of having to bust my butt to get these things done, because I set these deadlines for myself and I want to stick to them. I do have a tendency to blow deadlines off. I'm really bad about that. And here I know I've got this stuff I need to do. I want to do it. So deadlines, let's stick to them, because I want to get A for Advanced out. It has been a little over 4 years since the last time I published anything, and that was Her Demonic Majesty back at the end of May 2012. I don't really talk about that novel too much because there's mistakes in the printing and everything else, and they're all on me. One of these days I would really like to sit down and just completely re-edit the whole damn thing. I don't know that it's ever going to happen. It was a fun novel to write, but right now I'm so stuck in what I'm doing now that I don't think I'll ever get totally into Jeanette's world. I may. Maybe one of these days. Maybe I'll just become the female George R.R. Martin and just oh yeah. Yeah, that part's coming anytime now. Winter is almost here. But he can do that because he is a world famous author, and he has been busting his ass for almost his entire life writing. So I do not give George crap. If I do, it's because I love him and I can understand where he's coming from. And I think part of where he's coming from right now is that he's just sick and tired of hearing fans go, "Where's the next novel, George? I'm going to read the novel." And as I think it was Rachel and I were speaking the other night, and she, just said it could be that he doesn't want to release it because he knows it's never going to live up to the internet hype that's been built around it for the last 6 years, and that Winds of Winter is just going to get universally panned as a piece of crap. And I can understand that. You know, I think he's just personally tired of the whole Westeros story. He's been working on it for, what, over 15 years now. You know, at this point, I guess he just wants to drop, you know, dragons in the middle of everything and kill everyone. So, yeah, part of it probably is he knows that if he turns the novel out, it could be a freaking masterpiece, and some asshole fanboy's gonna go, "This is bullshit, man. I waited 6 years for this novel, and so, you know, blah, 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 blah." It's like, hey, dude, what were you doing for the last 6 years? Picking lint out of your belly button? Fans. They are so much fun, and I can't wait to get my own. So they're all like, "Tranny bitch, why didn't you get this done?" Because that's what they would. I know there's going to be some out there who will say that. I never use that word except in that case, and I don't like to use it. Sorry, but you know, there's somebody out there that will say that. Oh, actually, I have had a couple of pieces of hate mail that have shown up in my comments that pretty much said that, and they got cast off to the memory hole, you know, because they were people who weren't posting to the blog before, so they marked them as spam, and I just went click and into the memory hole with you. But the next time I get one, I'll actually post it up on my blog. I won't, you know, okay it or approve it. I'll just copy and paste it and put it up on my blog and say, "You see, this is some of the shit I get sometimes from people." And the last one was really like, the guy was off on a weird tangent. Like I should be surprised, because, you know, haters like that, who cares? Anyway, I'm just rambling today, so. But one of the things I want to do is I want to read to you. I want to read part of what I've written. And first I'm going to sit here and I'm going to move the camera over here to my TV set. And there it is. Yeah, see? Hey, hi. I'm right there. And I'm doing that so that things don't get messed up. But see, I'm over there and the book is right here. And the part I'm going to read is rather simple. Annie and Carrie have left the safety of the pentagram, and they've walked through the History and Arts building, and they're heading on their way to Memory's End. And Carrie has been really kind of subdued in terms of talking since leaving. And the part that I'm going to read is Carrie has actually said that he's wondering what's going on here at the school. The comment he made is that there's like 150 students here at the school, and they're learning, and he pauses when he says the word magic, like it's difficult for him to actually say it. And the thing he does come up with and says is that unless it's a total scam and everyone here is trying to avoid going to a real school, you know, why else would they be here? And Annie has asked him, "Do you really believe that, you know, people are here trying to get out of school?" And she gets to the point where she wants him to finish his answer because, you know, they came to a branch in their pathways, and one goes off to the witch house and one goes off to, you know, Memory's End. And here's where we go. She hadn't taken the time to look over the map, but she trusted his judgment. Now that they were walking again, she desired an answer to a question left hanging. "You didn't finish your answer." "No, I didn't." "What do you think is taught here?" Carrie's hand tightened a little around Annie's for the first time. Oh, and by the way, I should point out, It is his left hand into her right, and she even makes a comment about the fact that she likes Carrie on her right side because she's right-handed. Yes, that's the reason. He says, "Can I ask you a question first?" "Always." "Do you believe they're teaching magic here?" Now, this is Annie thinking here. Show honesty. There's no need to deceive him any longer. "Yes, I do." "Why?" "It's something I feel." If that's the case, Carrie half turned as they walked. "Why am I here?" That was a question she wasn't prepared to answer. Not yet. Annie felt he needed to see things first, so he would know the truth. "You're here because of the reasons the headmistress gave. The Foundation discovered something that makes you special, and that's why you're here." "But why?" He slowly swung their arms as they walked. Oh, Carrie is swinging the arm. "I've never done anything out of the ordinary, and this thing..." The word he wanted to say trailed off into non-existence. She felt his confusion. "You want to say magic, don't you?" "Everything I know tells me there's no such thing as magic in our reality." This time she smiled. "Are you certain?" "Yeah, sure." And he released Carrie's hand and began running her fingers slowly over his arm. "May I ask you one thing?" "Yeah, sure, Carrie. There's a girl running her fingers all over your left arm. Let her ask you something." Carrie looked down at Annie's hand gliding over his arm. It was strange to watch, and the action sent a shiver through him he'd never known before this moment. While in the shower, he'd played back the events of last night, the evaluation, the trip to the hospital, the words of Nurse Coraline, having Annie confirm said words not long after. And it seemed as if he'd been watching a movie of events happening to someone else, for there wasn't any possible way he imagined that when he woke up in Amsterdam yesterday, he'd finish the day holding Annie close and... Hold on. And that was another thing to puzzle out. Never would he have imagined he'd take the initiative and kiss a girl. He wasn't afraid of girls, he just never thought about them. But after everything that happened last night, after his evaluation, which he could now barely remember, save for a few words and the crying that came after helping his friend to the hospital and hearing another person point out what they saw as the obvious, after all that, Carrie was still uncertain as to why he'd kissed her, other than having a hunch that he should. Though if he continued thinking about the matter, he was certain he could come up with another reason. He shook that off. There were more important things going on right now. And since Annie showed confidence concerning what was said this morning, it made him inclined to listen to her request. "Ask away." "Keep an open mind today." She stopped rubbing his arm and pulled herself closer until she was leaning into him. "Listen to the instructors. Ask questions. If you see something you can't explain, don't try to figure it out that moment." She laid her head against his shoulder. "Please." You could see that. "Please." And how could you say no to those, hazel eyes and chestnut hair? And that's exactly what Carrie thinks. How can I say no after that? As the woods around him began to thin, Carrie touched his head against hers. "Okay, just for you." He stopped at the edge of a clearing, bringing Annie to a stop as well. This must be the place. So keep in mind, they're walking while this is happening, and she's leaning into him and putting her head on his shoulder and looking up to him. And, she's rubbing his arm as they walk and stuff like that. It's very cute. Really, when you think about it, you can almost see Annie going like this. "Carrie, listen to me while I talk." And she's probably like, "What is this girl doing to me?" If you only knew, Carrie. "Okay, just for you. He stopped at the edge of the clearing, bringing Annie to a stop as well. This must be the place. And inside a small clearing were a couple of two-story buildings, each perhaps 10 meters wide. They appeared weathered and aged, and the facing walls were bereft of any bricks save for a single entrance in the middle of each building. Carrie felt they looked more like a couple of storage sheds than classrooms. Annie saw them in a different light, however. Secluded in self-contained rooms with no chance of distraction from the outside. The perfect place to meditate on the past, present, and future. This is Memory's End. Yep, Carrie moved from side to side before pointing to the building on the left. If I remember correctly, that's numerology and the other is divination. He glanced at Annie. Why did you want to come here? There are a few things I'd like to ask. This isn't on our schedule, you know. Annie gave him the I know that look once again. I'd still like to meet the instructor. I think you already have, Annie. That was me. She stepped forward and pulled on Carrie's hand. Come along, dear one. Let's go inside. Carrie sighed, surrendering to the inevitable. Yes, sweetie. Dear one. That's the only time I think she ever calls him dear one. Because it eventually gets upgraded rather soon to, we know what it's going to get upgraded to. It's going to get upgraded to my love. My love. Let me pull my camera back over here. There we go. So, almost 30 minutes. 30 minutes worth of video. So here I am, and as you can see, I'm wearing a tank top today. Because it's muggy as hell outside. My windows are covered with condensation. And it's warm. I also have a bra on because I'm uncomfortable walking around without a bra. But yes, I'm going to remain cool. I'm going to work. I'm going to write. Maybe I'll go out for lunch later. We'll see. But I will be working on for continuing sometime today, sometime tomorrow, because I want to get that done. I want to set it so that I have it all laid out, at least preliminarily laid out by Monday. And Wednesday and Thursday, I'd like to get the trailer done, which means I'm probably not going to get a lot of editing done in this week. Plus, I have a whole bunch of other stuff I got to take care of that driving me nuts. But hey, a woman's work is never done, okay? We know this. So take care, have a good time, and I hope you enjoyed this video. And I know it ran a little long, but hey, you love it. Take care, bye.